Hey guys, William Murfitt here, and in today's video, I'm down here because I'm an idiot and didn't plug in my microphone.
I know you don't love me like you say you do.
Okay, so in today's episode then, this is the penultimate episode. I'm going to get this car started. I've got a few jobs I need to do. I need to seal up the exhaust. I need to fill the car with coolant. So I've got this new coolant jug. It's a 5 litre jug, so I'm going to fill it 50-50. So 2.5 litres of water and 2.5 litres of antifreeze coolant. That should be pretty straightforward, and it means that although I will have plenty for this job, I'll also have some for the next jobs as well. So let's take a look down the side of the car. Where's my bike? A few pairs of shoes, and looking underneath, you can see that the exhaust is all mounted up here. It's not quite ready just yet, but I'm going to whip off that Y piece, and there's a Y piece just there. Also the centre section that goes to the catalytic converter. I'm going to seal it all up, and then I'm going to refit it all back together. It seems a bit of a mad exercise, but if I don't do it now, then it's never going to get done, and the exhaust will blow. So let's make sure we do a job properly. So now that the exhaust is off, you can see here this is the Y piece and the centre section joined together. I'm going to take some exhaust paste, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to squirt it into the join to make sure that I can create that seal. So I'm just going to separate the two parts here now, and once they're separated, that should make it like a little bit easier. So starting with the Y piece, I'm going to put a little bit in the manifold end and a bit on the other end as well, because they are both the female connector. So there's a wider connector. The male goes inside the female. Just squirt it in there, and then I can spread it out with my finger as well, just to make sure it's nice and well lubricated or well sealed. Right, want plenty of coverage there. So that's the exhaust now sealed up, and now I need to put it underneath the car, and then I can start it up. Okay, so the exhaust underneath is all sealed. So what I'm going to do is going to run it for a few minutes. Well, not even that, I'm just going to run it just to make sure that it is not blowing. Splendid, right. Doesn't sound like it's blowing. Close this door down to keep some of the warmth in, because it is very, very cold. Right, coolant. That's the next step. I'm going to fill up the coolant. Okay, so as I said before, I've got this coolant bottle. I've got 1 litre, 2 litre, 3 litre, 4 and 5. I'm going to do 5 litres of mixture. So I'm going to have to do this 50-50. So 2.5 litres is about there. Okay, so I'm going to fill this to water and then to the top with coolant. And so as you can see my mark, that's 2.5 litres there. Now I'm going to fill up with this Halford's OAT coolant or antifreeze. The reason I do this is because it's readily available, and you should never mix and match antifreezes. And to be honest, this is just as good as any. So I'm sure people have different opinions, but I've always used this stuff and I find it to be perfectly sufficient for all conditions. So I'm going to fill up this now to the 5 litre mark. Now again, I appreciate this is going to be far more than what's needed in this car, but I've got some mix now for future projects, future builds, and in my nice handy container I can get to it as and when I want. Let's fire this up and let this coolant drain. So what I'm trying to do here is get all the water circulating around the engine. I've got the heater on for the time being to get everything going round. When the temperature in the engine gets to 88 degrees, the thermostat will open. I'm going to turn the heater off in a second, just because I want to make sure it draws the water through. So yeah, 88 degrees, the thermostat will open and it will get the water going around the engine. I'm going to keep an eye on the level of the water. I want to keep it above that top line of the radiator. And yeah. So far so good. So you can see that temperature now going down, like level. That's because it's getting hot enough and the thermostat is thinking about starting to open. Right, so the engine's run up to temperature. I'm now going to take the rocker cover off and re-torque the cylinder head down. Coolant wise, pretty good. There's no lights on the dashboard, not that there'll be any lights anyway, but there doesn't seem to be any faults. The car goes forwards and backwards. And yeah. All in all, a great success. So, got to take the old rocker cover gasket off. I'm going to fit a new silicone gasket. This could take some time, so I'll come back to you once this is off. Right, the engine's running. I can't see any signs of leaks, so that's pretty good. So while I'm just running it up to temperature, I'm going to put the bonnet on, get outside, and then I'm going to jack it back up again, and I'm going to pressure wash underneath the car, make it nice and clean. Hopefully then you can see any signs of leaks or anything like that. So. Car is finished, so I'm going to go for a drive now. I've pressure washed all the oil and all the old coolant off the engine, so hopefully I'm going to go for a drive now. It's not going to sort of leak, and if it does, when I get home I can jack it back up and see any damages. So the first real test, I'm going to go for a drive. Got half a tank of fuel, so I shouldn't have any issues with fueling. So yeah, let's just take it steady and see how we get on.